Hey guys, welcome back to CamelThreads.com. My name is Brea and it's Makeup Monday. So weird. So this week is our Q&A video and I'm super excited about it. I first off just wanted to thank everybody so much for sending in your questions. So I did want to let you guys know I'm going to be super in depth on how I answer these questions. So I am going to split this up into two parts. So I'll answer half of the questions today. I'm filming everything. I'll answer half today and then next week I'll post the other half. So if you're watching and you're like, oh, well, she didn't answer my question, just stay tuned and we'll probably get to it next week. So I am gonna answer everything, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is gonna be a 2-segment video instead of just one, just to save time so you guys aren't sitting at your computers or staring at your phones for 30 minutes just listening to me ramble on and on and on and on and on, because Lord knows I can do it. So this is gonna be the first half and I will, like I said, I'll get the other half posted next week, and so we will go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so let's get started. I do want to apologize just starting out. I was writing all of these questions down as I went, and halfway through, and I was deleting it as I went, so halfway through it I was like, oh my gosh. Some of these I didn't even write down, like, who asked this question. So if I don't say your name, I'm so sorry. But your question's gonna be in here. I just didn't write down the name that pairs with the question. So I do apologize for that. So question number 1 is from Courtney, and she says, I have no lips. How do I make my lips look bigger? So there's a couple of different things that you can do. Before I started getting my lips filled, I struggled with this too. So what I would do is I would overline my lips. So take, you know, any lip liner pencil that you have, and instead of staying right on your lip line, you're actually gonna do it on your skin. So just stay as close to your lips as you can, because sometimes people do get way too far away from their lips. And you can just tell that they're overlined. So that's one option that you can do, and if you would like me to, I would be more than happy to film that, show you how to overline your lips. So just let me know and I'll get that done for you. Another thing too is, before I started overlining my lips, I would actually highlight and contour my lips. So what I mean by that is, before I would put on any lipstick or anything like that, I would take concealer, and let me actually show you with a brush. So what I would do is, before I put on any of my lipstick, I would take just a fluffy eyeshadow brush and dip it into my bronzer. And so I would go underneath my lip and just start shadowing. There's nothing on this, by the way. Start shadowing underneath my lip and kind of taper it down. So what that's gonna do is that's gonna create a shadow. Excuse me. What that's gonna do is create a shadow underneath your lip to make it look fuller. And then on my top lip, I would go in with a shimmer highlight, because keep in mind, anything that reflects light is gonna draw attention to. So anything bright is gonna make it appear larger. So underneath, you want it to create a shadow, so it's gonna make it look like your bottom lip is kind of sticking out, even though it's not. And then on top, if you do a shimmer, it's gonna make that appear larger also. So that's just two options. You can either, like I said, overline or highlight and contour your lips. So I hope that helped. Okay, so question number 2 for this week is, my eyebrows are such an issue. Oh, and this is from Laura. My eyebrows are such an issue. They are naturally thin. Is there a trick shaping them so they look fuller without having so much pencil look? So there are some products out there that you can put on before you fill your eyebrows, and they are kind of the same concept of making your eyelashes fuller and longer. You know how there's that mascara that has the fibers in it? They make gel with fiber in it also. So a couple of products are the Too Faced Brow Quickie. So what that is it's a brow gel. I believe it has a tint to it, but there's fiber in it also. So either you can just put that on to make your brows look fuller, or you can just fill them in like you normally do and then go over it with the Brow Quickie with those fibers in it. So those fibers are gonna stick to your natural hairs and make them appear fuller. So that way you're not overdrawing with pencil and just look like you have just brows just stuck to your face. So that'll help make them appear fuller. If you wanted a cheaper version, Maybelline does have a product similar to it. It's called the Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. That is a lot of words, but it's the same concept. It's another brow gel that has fibers in there, so that's gonna help make your brows appear fuller without having to draw them on. So, good products. Let's see, question number 3 is, Melissa says, I need a solution for base and cover up that will work better for my sensitive skin. I'm trying to avoid breakouts. So I don't have sensitive skin. I could literally dip my face into a bowl of tar and nothing's gonna happen because pretty much I cake on my face every single day. But for my girls that do have sensitive skin, I always recommend a tinted moisturizer. The Balm has one. It's called Balm Shelter, and it is a tinted moisturizer. And it's very light. It doesn't have all the talc and all of the other products that actual foundation has. It's basically what it's called. It's a moisturizer, but it has dark pigment in there, so you're getting that really nice, really pretty coverage. I use tinted moisturizer all the time. If I'm just, you know, in a hurry or don't feel like putting on a full face of makeup, I do use tinted moisturizer, and it is awesome. It has SPF in it, and it's not super heavy, but you're still getting really, 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 really pretty coverage from it also. So as far as concealer though, I haven't found one quite yet that doesn't cause other people to break out. So just to kind of combat that, what I recommend people doing that do have really sensitive skin is getting 2 tubes of the tinted moisturizer. Get one that matches your face, and then get one that's 2 to 3 shades lighter, so that's what you can use as your highlight, concealer, anything that you need to make your other areas look brighter. So that's just what I suggest, and it's worked for all of my girls that I do makeup on for, you know, prom or, you know, bridals, stuff like that. And they have, I've gotten really good feedback from them, you know, just saying switching from normal foundation to a tinted moisturizer has helped them with breakouts. And another thing as far as breakouts go, just make sure, I'm sure you know this if you have sensitive skin, make sure you're just cleansing as much as you can. Toners are awesome after you're washing your skin, just because that does help pull out any extra dirt, any extra just oils, good stuff like that. Not good stuff, bad stuff like that. So that does make a huge difference if you are cleansing your face and then using a toner on afterwards. One of my favorite toners is the So Totally Clean by Formula 1006. So try that one out. If you like it, let me know. Neutrogena has really good toners also. Just anything that you can do to get as much as that dirt and oil off of your face if you do have sensitive skin is just going to help prevent those breakouts. And using a tinted moisturizer versus a regular foundation is going to help a lot too. So the next question is from Laurel, and she says, my senior pics are happening and I'm worried about too much or too little makeup. Is more or less better for photography? I got a fuzzy on my lip. So believe it or not, more is way better. So I used to work for a photographer here in town, and she would always ask me to do more, and me as wanting to, you know, just make people look natural and all of that good stuff, I was like, no. But it does. It makes a huge difference. So I started doing more, and then I would just tell my girls, like, look, I'm gonna make you look like a clown. I'm so sorry, but it photographs better and it helps the photographer as far as editing goes. So if you're putting on a thick layer of base and foundation and all of that good stuff, and you know, using darker shadows, the way, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna sit here and say I know how photography works because I don't, but as far as the lighting goes, it does help to when you do have heavier makeup on, it's gonna show less of your imperfections. So say you have a really big pimple, but you just cake that sucker and cover it as best as you can. When they're reflecting their light or doing certain lighting, those shadows from those blemishes aren't gonna catch as much. So it does help when you are wearing much heavier makeup for them as far as their editing goes. So you might look like a lunatic when you are wearing a ton of makeup. Oh, I almost cussed. I caught myself. It is gonna make a ton of a difference if you're wearing heavier makeup versus when you're wearing your makeup day to day, just because it is gonna help them as far as editing goes. Because I'm sure, you know, you don't wanna look too edited in your senior pictures. You know, you wanna look like yourself. You don't wanna look like, you know, completely different where you're looking at somebody face to face versus when you see your senior picture and it not look like yourself, because they do. Sometimes they have to go back and over edit to cover these, you know, different things. And so just to keep your looking like yourself, I do always recommend much heavier makeup. You're gonna look crazy, but your photographer is gonna thank you for it, because you are gonna have, it's less work for them as far as editing goes. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so these are getting into the questions that I forgot to write names down, so I'm so sorry. Says, this question says, I have large pores and I need help. What are some good products to use, or how do I cover them? So I love the Benefit Professional. It's in a little bitty tube, but what it does is it helps minimize the look of your pores. So you're gonna put it on before you do anything. So some people only have big pores right in their T-zone or in their chin. Some people have big pores everywhere. So what you do is you're just gonna cover any problem areas that you have, and you're gonna put that on before you do anything. I'm talking like, don't moisturize, don't put primer on, nothing. Like clean face, Benefit Professional, stick it on your problem areas, and it literally, it's not thick, but it's almost the same consistency as a primer, but what it does is it fills in those larger pores and it smooths out the rest of your skin. So you're gonna wanna do that first, and then you can go back and do your primer, moisturizer, everything you do before you put on your foundation. But that's the very first thing that you want to do. That is what I use on so many people when I'm doing their makeup, and it makes a huge difference. It's the first one I've ever tried, and I'm sticking to it because it works phenomenally, if that's even a word. But that's what I always recommend for large pores. Next question, again, I don't have the name, so sorry, is, are you supposed to put base on your neck, and how far down to make it blend with your face? Yes, for starters. Always put makeup on your face. The only time that you're not, face, of course you're putting makeup on your face, neck. The only time you're not gonna be putting makeup on your neck is if you have a 100% perfectly flawless match to your skin, which that is so rare. Mine never matches perfect. I mean, it's always like pretty much spot on close, but it's gonna be so rare for you to get like an exact match, because my skin changes all the time. Sometimes I put self tanner on, sometimes I'm out in the sun. Like during the summer, I'm constantly changing my foundation because I'm getting darker and darker and darker and darker as time is going on. So yes, you're always gonna wanna put makeup on your neck. And so as far as how far down to blend it, so say for example today I'm wearing this shirt, so obviously you can see all of my skin. So I usually start, I put actual makeup in this area and I blend it down with my beauty blender, and at some point it's gonna get, the makeup is on your skin is gonna get thinner and thinner. So I just kind of fade it down right into where my t-shirt's gonna be, or whatever shirt I'm wearing for that day. So for today, since I'm not wearing a t-shirt, I brought it all the way down, and then I even feathered just my translucent powder just on the base of my neck. Like, here, I'll show you. So just kind of right all in here to help kind of blend it all out and down. Just because, you know, you don't have, I mean, if you get into this the point where you're putting it, I would have put makeup like all over my entire shoulders. So, but since your makeup does get thinner as you're running out of product, the more you bring it down, it's gonna kind of blend in with the rest of your skin. So yes, you definitely wanna put makeup on your neck because you'll be walking around with that line that I'm sure a lot of us have walked around with before. And we don't want that. Because I did. I used to just stop right here and then like pumpkin and then white. So just, yes, always blend down because at some point the makeup is going to get thinner just from, I know I keep repeating myself, but you know what I mean. Just as it goes down, it's going to fade and it'll all blend in together. Okay, so the last question for this week is, are brushes or sponges better for applying liquid foundation? I'm so sorry I didn't catch whoever asked this, but I love this question so much. Ugh, because I just do. So I'm gonna say it's a toss-up. I use a sponge all the time. One, it's faster for me. Two, it doesn't soak up as much product if you're getting your sponge damp. So if you're just going in with a dry sponge, it's gonna soak up all of your excess product. But if it's damp, it's not gonna do that. So as far as brushes go, that's a toss-up. I do love the Morphe R6 for liquid foundation. It is a synthetic brush, so it's not like a regular fiber brush, so that's not soaking up all of my foundations. But I will say, when it's not 100% perfectly clean, as I'm doing it, I'm getting lines and I'm getting streaks and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I don't like about brushes. Don't get me wrong, I still love them, but I love them when they're perfectly clean. So I don't know if you can see, but this guy hasn't been cleaned in about a week. So all of my foundation has settled in there. So it's making it stiff. You can tell that when I open up this brush, it's just sticking instead of a clean brush. How it's just going back into place. So this guy, don't judge it. I haven't cleaned it, but I'm glad I didn't because this is a perfect example for you guys. So this is another liquid foundation brush too, but it's clean. Dirty, clean. So when it's clean, it's not gonna create as many lines on there, so it is easier to blend out. So versus dirty, this is 1 week dirty. All of my foundation has settled into it. So when I'm rubbing this on my face, all of these stiff brushes are gonna create lines on my face. So then I'm just gonna have to go back in with a beauty blender and blend all those out anyways. So me, I use a brush just because it's, I use a sponge just because it's faster and it's not soaking up all of my foundation. I still use both though, but I prefer a sponge. So it's just kind of your preference. If you do prefer to use a brush, make sure you're cleaning them as much as you possibly can so you don't get this problem right here. So honestly, like as soon as you're done putting on your foundation, clean it off, let it dry, use it the next day. Clean, dirty. So you can see how this is going to create lines and how this is not. So I hope that helped. That is going to conclude all of the questions for this week. I am going to go back, like I said, I'm going to post the rest of them next week. I'm still filming the rest of them today. So I hope this helped. If you have any other questions, just shoot us an email. Obviously I'm not going to film those questions. I'll probably do another one of these in a couple of months or so, like 1 or 2, just because I think, you know, I really like interacting with you guys and just making it feel more personable. But until then, if you do have any other questions, just shoot an email to lulu@camelthreads.com, or you can DM us on Facebook and Instagram, and I will still answer whatever questions you had. So thank you so much for watching this week, and I will see you guys next week for part 2.